Do you think if I went with you, this wizard could give me some brains?
Well, I couldn't say.
Oh, won't you take me with you?
Of course I will, Scarecrow.
Oh, hooray! To Oz!
To Oz!
We're off to see the wizard!
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
Be gone, wicked witch!
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch, oh witch, a wicked witch. You cursed brat! Look what you've done! I'm melting!
It's a good crack on the...
To the hangout, welcome to the hangout. To the hangout, welcome to the hangout. To the hangout, welcome to the hangout. To the hangout, welcome to the hangout.
Hey.
Deal.
Man, oh man, I'm feeling a little wicked. How about you?
Back, and we back, and we back, and we back.
Yeah, feeling a little bad.
Wicked.
Feeling a little.
For the first time in my life, I feel second because this is part 2.
I know you watched it.
In my life,
know you watched it.
When we did the first one, y'all go check out the first one. YouTube.com/The Hangout Media.
There you go. Y'all heard him. Hey man, I every now and then you'll say something. I'm like, that boy watched that movie. Ain't no doubt, because you quoting direct lines from the movie. I'm like, okay, that's how we starting off. We're gonna quote direct lines. All right.
Hey man, some things just leave an impression. As we gonna talk about, you gotta remember some of the few lines you hear.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, if you tell them to go back to that first one, then they gonna know exactly how I feel about certain things. But we're gonna get into that right after we let them know it is that PRICE. And who do I have on this wicked review with me?
Yowie wowie, ladies and germs. It's your boy X the Unannounced, aka the Wicked Witch of the South Side. You feel me? Aka the head monkey in charge, Chestery. You know what I'm saying? What's happening? I got my partners with me, my AT-aliens with me.
Partnering them.
What's partnering them? You feel me? Shout out Outkast.
Yeah, shout it. Yeah, matter of fact, man, shout out Outkast and congratulations, man. Hall of Fame, baby, for sure. Come on, man. I remember hearing that song for the first time, dog. All the players came from far and wide. Yeah, shout it.
Talk about it.
Come on, man.
Stank on your 25.
Hey,
you feel me?
Hey, so that's just showing my age though. All right.
Yeah, I'm pretty old, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm pretty up there.
Woo. So yeah. As you heard, we are reviewing Wicked for Good. That's right.
That's it.
And we definitely got a lot to say about this. You know what I mean? We definitely do. But before we can do any of that, my very wicked friend over there has to give you some of that beautiful bean footage.
Here's some more bean footage for y'all. It's the Wicked for Good trailer.
Elva Withrop, I know you're out here. Just come in before the monkeys spot you.
There's no going back. This is between us, the wizard, and I.
The Wicked Witch can't elude us forever. Not with Prince Fiero and his squadron hot on her trail.
The wonderful Wizard of Oz. No one believed in you more than I did.
Elphaba. They're coming for you.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason. I know I'm who I am today because I knew you.
Think of what we could do. together.
Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun. Like a seed dropped by a skybird in a distant war. Who can say if I've been changed for the better?
Bring me the broom of the Wicked Witch of the West.
For a while there, I thought you changed.
I have changed.
It's time.
For both of us.
To fly!
Because I knew you.
You're the only friend I ever had.
Because I knew you.
And I've had so many friends.
I have been changed for good.
But only one that mattered.
I'm off to see the wizard.
Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully, hopefully Price didn't melt through that. Hope my brother's still here with me on that side.
Bro, hey, listen. As I alluded to earlier, yes, if you listen to the very first Wicked review that we did, confession, I don't like musicals. You know what I mean? I'm not really into musicals like that. All right, I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. However, I'm not gonna be biased against it. Simply because I don't like musicals. I go into these movies regardless of any of that and say, hey, is it a good movie? Period. Point blank. So it's no different than just like with the last one. I've said before, my main problem, I guess, with musical comes when it's like simple things that can just be said. You know what I mean? Like for me, you don't have to tell me that I'm going to the store and I'm buying some eggs and bacon and bread. I don't need that. Just tell me you're going to the store to buy some eggs and bacon and bread. And then we get back there and we're going to sing a song together, something, however. So that's the problem, because I'm all into it. And then all of a sudden we break out into song and I just don't understand why, However, there are plays and musicals and however, like Hamlet, for example, who infuse different styles of music, you know what I mean, and make things extremely entertaining. But for those who like straightforward Sound of Music, Mary Poppins, musicals and however, hey, I think Wicked is right up there with them for you, with the the stage production, the execution, and the music. But of course, it's subjective. It depends on who is actually listening to it or watching it, on how, based on how they feel. And so for me, I actually think it's good for me to review this kind of movie, just because I'm not so much into musicals. However, if it is good, it's good.
Oh yes. See, now I will tell y'all, right? Like my cohort here, I'm not the biggest musical guy, right? I admire what it is. I admire the art form. I admire the theater, but it's not my go-to. You know what I'm saying? But I too also went into there, hopefully expecting a good story out of this duo that we have here, right? You laid the foundation, the bricks, and everything else with the first film. I just wanted to know what y'all were gonna do to, as y'all said, wrap this up. Kind of put the bow and ribbon on this. And was it a good story underneath the music?
And that's fair. That is a fair request from an avid moviegoer. So let's dive in. Let's tell you what this is all about. What is Wicked? It might be your first time. You might not have even seen Wicked, the first, part one. Might have just come on in for the two. It might be going on a date night, and your girl or your guy, whoever, might say, "Hey, I want to go see Wicked for good." All right, let's go. Well, then let's go ahead and familiarize you with this. now demonized as the Wicked Witch of the West. Elphaba lives in exile in the Ozian forest, while Galinda resides at the palace in Emerald City, reveling in the perks of fame and popularity. As an angry mob rises against the Wicked Witch, she'll need to reunite with Galinda to transform herself and all of Oz for good. Now, this has a release date of November 21st, 2025. Director John M. Chu, with a running time of 2 hours and 17 minutes. Whew. Strap in, baby. This is adapted from Wicked and The Wizard of Oz. Music by John Powell, Steven Schwartz. With a budget of $150 million.
Millions.
Baby.
Million.
Now, the first one had a matching budget of $150 million.
Ha.
But part one has a worldwide box office gross of approximately $750 million.
Look, if you look at it in perspective, you had 300 million to make two movies. The first one already made you back both your budgets combined.
Yep. Almost a billy. But we're gonna get it. We get into a billy on this one combined. Oh, this will definitely be a billy, ain't no doubt.
Merch included? Absolutely.
Now, real quick, I used to work at a theater, in Atlanta, and I saw Wicked, the stage play, for the first time, and I will always maintain the same feeling, which is seeing the play in person. I'm sorry, man, the movie just can't touch that. Just simply because when you're there and the lights are low and they have this amazing stage production, and the songs hit you because you're right there. You know what I mean? Like, you can feel the people singing it. You know what I mean? It's just a different, it's a more intimate feeling. Having said that, obviously with a movie you can do more wizardry. See what I did with there? You can do more wizardry and magic on screen. You understand what I'm saying? So visually, yeah, might be more appealing.
I will put it on my list, man. I will. Whenever it does. And I'm sure after this resurgence that there will be a Broadway run at some point. And when it does, I will put my name on that list to go see that.
Absolutely. I'm surprised they won't show it in Chicago. I know they always, more than likely, always have it going on in New York and so forth. I just went to London not too long ago. They had it there. So,
nice.
Yeah, man. Okay, so all right, guys, this is what y'all want to know. I'm sorry, we just had to set this up for y'all because I really want y'all to understand. I know there's some people out there, especially probably some guys, they're like, oh man, I ain't trying to hear all that singing or whatever. I mean, let me get this out the way, X. I can't hold this anymore.
Let's talk, brother.
The first movie, I'm just gonna get right to it. The first movie, I think it had the better songs. I really do think it had the better songs. I felt that immediately.
The Wicked.
Immediately, bro. As soon as I got into this movie, I felt that immediately. I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing. And that kind of carried out throughout the rest of part two for me. I think they're inferior. I think the songs are inferior to part one's songs. However, they were cool. It's just that they were plentiful. They were plentiful. I feel like there was way more singing in this one than it was in the first one. But that's neither here nor there. As the synopsis said, we start right off with Elphaba, like, she's the Wicked Witch. You know what I mean? Ain't no doubt about it. There's no like.
It's established.
Yeah. Come on, bro.
No if, ands, or buts. We closed one chapter and picked it right back up. All right. Hey.
Yeah.
Public enemy numero uno.
Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, she's definitely the FBI's most wanted. Like they after your girl. But I like how she portrays a fugitive. She ain't scared. You know what I mean? Like she She ain't really running. She is, but she's not though. And mainly because she really don't want to hurt people. She can do magic, so she doesn't really want to hurt people. So it's like she's running, but she's not. You know what I'm saying? She's kind of running because it's like, I don't want to hurt you. So let me just go on over here, but starting right off, man, we get references to the Wizard of Oz immediately.
Right away.
Right away, bro. I'm like, wow, okay. Yeah, y'all doing
Not
that, huh?
hiding it.
Yeah, not even trying it.
Just I couldn't hide it if they tried either. The way they even kicked the movie off, just
right to it. I'm like, okay, that's what we doing. So it did make me wonder, like, oh, they gonna bring in, the characters that we know from Wizard of Oz. You know what I'm saying? Now there are some people who've seen Wicked. They already know what this is. They already seen the play, whatever, so they know what it is. Great for y'all. However, we're not going to spoil it for the people who have not. So we're not going to just tell you everything. But I will say that trailer, bro, is quite revealing, dog. Like it literally has lines in there that doesn't happen to the very end. And I'm like, really? Like y'all are basically telling the story that, oh, okay, I guess everything is cool. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. But that's the problem I had with that trailer, by the way, bro. I should have just, as soon as you stopped it, I should have said it. But that was the problem I had with that trailer. Like, it literally reveals so much that it's almost like, well, why go see it? Because you just told the end of the story right there. So, but whatever.
Yeah.
Whew. I don't know if you peeped that, dog. I'm just like, I was disappointed with them with that. I'm like, come on.
Oh, absolutely. It's like there's a such thing as, leave something to the imagination. You know what I'm saying? And you can use that in multiple ways. It's just a trailer for something as big as Wicked doesn't need it.
All those reveals.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All those reveals. You can literally leave it at the pageantry of what it is.
Exactly.
Minimal lines. You could still tell the story straight to the point.
Yep. So I don't know who edited that video, but I think he kind of failed on that one, man, because it really, like, guys, if you watch the trailer and once you go see the movie, you'll be like, wow, why would they put that in the trailer when that is a very big plot point? It kind of lets you know how everything's going to end, So I'm like, interesting. Okay. I guess they just assume everybody's seen the whole Wicked play or whatever. I don't know, but bad choice on that, fellas. Bad choice on the editing of the trailer.
Shout out Universal, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Y'all need to hire your boys.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Y'all greenlit this and said, all right, well, let's put this out there for the world. Hey, just to remind y'all. Yeah. Part 2 coming.
Yeah. Next time y'all want to edit a video, come holler at your boy, man. We got you, Charlotte.
We take care of you over here.
For sure. So yeah, man, like we get right in and we already know, like, okay, reference to Wizard of Oz, you know what I mean? Like, okay, let's see where we're going. We're going deeper down the rabbit hole now. Okay, there were certain things that were set up in the beginning when it came to the animals, when it came to the students, when it came to who was good and who was bad. I mean, the one thing I have definitely loved about Wicked is that that's subjective as well. Like, you can decide who actually is the wicked one in here or not, but that's an option that I've always respected about Wicked, is that you get to kind of tell who you think is the hero or the villain. And the same rings true in this one. This is definitely what I noticed right off as well. The way they had things setting up is that, yeah, you kind of think that one person is the bad person, but the other person might be. It just depends. And I think they do a really good job of doing that, allowing you to make the choice of who you think, is the good and the bad. Now, again, this is a continuation of the part 1. And like X was saying, like she's numero uno, baby. You know what I'm saying, on the hit list. And so we spent a lot of time with her kind of ducking and dodging and in and out kind of scenes. But we definitely spent a lot of time with Galinda and Prince, is it Fiyero? We spent a lot of time with them in the beginning. And you kind of like, I wonder if this is going where I think it's going, and and so forth and so on. But you kind of think like, well, wait a minute. I thought in the last movie, I thought it was this, thought it was that. What I had to realize, bro, was that some years or year, or however, had passed. This wasn't like picked up like right the next day. Like this was some time has passed, definitely. So that's one of the first things that you're going to notice. Like, oh, okay, I didn't know this had happened and that happened. Some people are not there anymore. Some people have passed on, and yeah, some things have transpired. Some things have transpired that have pushed the story along to make you say, "Huh, okay, this is where we are." Like you said, she's on the run. Galinda is like that girl. Everybody's loving her. You can definitely see them trying to build her up to be like that next thing. Like almost like side by side with the wizard. And so, you get to have your thoughts about Galinda and how she rolled. But you kind of want to be a fan or support of support of Galinda, because truly she's not a bad person. She's just one of those popular girls who kind of doesn't think about anybody but herself. You know what I mean? And we all have seen those kind. They don't necessarily have to be bad people per se. It's just some of the things that they choose to do are quite selfish, which selfishness can be bad at times. And so, yeah, some people might write off like, oh my God, I can't stand her or whatever. But the problem is that Ariana is so charming as this selfish, popular girl. You want to almost equate her to a mean girl in a sense without being so mean. Because she's so charming with it that you almost, you hate to like her, you know what I mean? But like to hate her, however.
Almost to the point where they left that stuff in there. They kind of like, all right, let's kind of play up in that a little bit more in this one. With certain scenes that are related to Arise in the movie. So, we kept that characterization a little bit when it comes to that a little bit. We just expand a little bit more on nuance points.
I absolutely agree. And I was cool with it, man. Yeah, exactly. You got. I feel like at one point that this was almost a little bit more Galinda's show in the beginning, and it was cool because you got a chance to see some things that happened in her past, and that kind of helped shape the person that she is. And it's funny how some people know this. Like there can be some of the most beautiful people in the world, and they are some of the most insecure people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of get to see this with Galinda because she has always basically wanted to be that person. She wanted to be, a witch. She wanted to have powers and magic and so forth and so on. So she's always tried basically to be popular, Whereas Elphaba that wasn't her goal. However, she became extremely popular, just not in the way that a person probably would want, but technically she was probably more popular than Galinda if you actually think about it, as far as notoriety. Her name probably spread way more over the lands than, Galinda, because she was the Wicked Witch. Everybody was watching out for her. So they both got, things that they either wanted or didn't want, but in different ways. And I thought that was an interesting kind of take on that. You know what I'm saying? Because they definitely mirrored each other, but actually, were opposite of each other at the same time.
It's a good thing that you also noted the similarities in how it was shot, as if those were plot points that were put as like a side by side, like you're watching them both kind of come into their own together in a sense of, okay, you see that these polar opposites and what they want out of life, it seems to be happening at the same time, same progression, kind of like, you building up the two titans
exactly
for that epic, eventual clash where they meet in the middle. But one's getting up here and one's going up here. Again, complete polar opposites, but we keeping that going, and we're able to dive into it and add more layers.
Correct. And it's that reason alone that they were able to bond in the first movie. To find that common ground, to realize like we really are the same. You know what I mean? We have some of the same fears. We have some of the same desires. literally, especially when it comes to men. But yeah,
Similar struggles,
similar
not the
struggles.
biggest struggle between the two, but similar struggles and insecurity points and stuff like that.
Right.
Good point, brother.
Yeah, and because again, man, like I said, I'm trying to look past the musical part of it and actually say, well, what is the director trying to tell me? What is this story trying to tell me? And most times movies have a lesson in them, and they sometimes hold up a mirror to us, like this is how we see each other. So I appreciate the vulnerability that was shown with them both. However, even more with Galinda this time, because you really got a chance to see her fears. You got a chance to see her vulnerability through some of these flashbacks.
You think about it too in the aspect of the first movie kind of did focus more on Alphaba and hers,
Correct.
and this one focusing more on Galinda's.
Exactly.
Giving you that both side view coin perspective.
Right. So you see what I'm saying, bro? And I don't think it's a coincidence they named it Wicked for Good, because that's what Galinda wanted to be. Good, Galinda the Good. And if y'all wonder why I keep saying Linda, because that's how she pronounced her name. Now put some respect on her name, Galinda. But
Linda, it's not Galinda, it's Galinda.
You can't. Hey, it's like Weezy F baby. You got to say the baby. So
you got to say the you gotta, like a Tribe Called Quest. You got to say the whole thing.
You got to say the whole thing. A pimp named Slickback. So, all right. That's what and that's what it was. Wicked, good. Who's good? Who's wicked? And like you said, man, the struggles between these two women weren't that far off. And then you got politics. You got the the wizard. You have his, I don't know, concierge. I don't know what she was to him. But she was almost like the puppeteer with the hand up his back. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, right?
The real puppet master.
Come on, man. The Oz, if you've seen Wizard of Oz, I mean he's a face. He's a public figure. In a sense, it's almost like a mascot for Oz. You know what I'm saying?
Perfectly put.
Yeah, but the real power, the real players, were always Elphaba and Galinda. Now, even with Madame Morrible, she's a big player in it. However, she doesn't hold a candle to them, especially when it comes to respect, or envy. Nobody wants to be like her. They fear her because of the position that she holds, and the ability to kind of steer your life, you know what I mean? Or, make it hard, make it difficult, make it easier, depending on if she like you or not. But she wasn't the major player. The major players definitely was Galinda and Elphaba. And them having,
she liked you or found you useful as well. You gotta don't forget that point. Useful, because at the time, this is what you're telling us, that Madame Morrible finds Linda useful.
Yeah, for sure.
But still thinking that she holds the power. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
And not even the power in the aspect of what you can do.
That's
just
right.
a mental game of power.
Exactly. Well put. Well put. Yeah, man, she's she's an evil one, Mr. Grinch. But yeah, no, she's definitely playing chess, baby. It's chess,
almost
not checkers.
Time, boy. Mariah Carey is thawing out somewhere, brother.
It's definitely not checkers with her. It's all chess with her, baby. And and she plays it well, quite well. So we are stepping into Wizard of Oz territory. We're coming through the back door. All right, we're not going through the front door. We're coming through the back door, and we're seeing things that transpired that led us all the way up to the events of the Wizard of Oz. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, I don't know how I've truly felt about some of those reveals of, oh, he was the the Sun Such. He was the Tin Man. He was the yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I won't spoil it, but I'll just say I was not feeling some of the reveals of who was who. Like, oh wow, he was really the Tin Man or however. Some of them, bro, I'm like, man, y'all probably could have either kept that or you probably maybe could have used a different person or a different situation. You know what I'm saying for that to happen, just because of maybe the interactions afterwards. The closer we got to the end, some of them I just wasn't feeling. One of them, like, okay, that's cool, that's all right, but yeah, one of them I wasn't feeling. But you are definitely going through the back door, and you're pulling the curtain, right, and seeing like, oh, wow, okay, well that's how this came about, and it's up to you to decide if you really like that or if you just felt like y'all probably could have kept that.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. And this is why
You
it
liked
works,
it.
man.
You liked it.
It was kind of fly, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was kind of fly.
I knew you liked it.
I've always looked at Wicked as so I look at the Wizard of Oz as the centerpiece painting, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I look at Wicked as the mural that's around it, but tells the bigger and broader story of and just connects it and just makes it make sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Not that the Wizard of Oz doesn't make sense, but it lends a hand. And you know me, man.
Mm-hmm.
I like some characterization. I like some personalization. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I thought it was interesting. Kind of because you don't think about it too much, but it's the small details that you don't really notice about. Like the names and stuff like that, and everybody's role, like kind of how it fits in that broader scale. And to me, those reveals was just kind of like, huh,
Hmm.
that's interesting.
Hmm.
I mean, especially, again, this is spoiler free, so I'm not telling y'all the movie, but just what happens at the end. And that realization and revelation, and it just added a little bit of nuance and a couple of little finer pieces for me to
Hmm.
kind of put the bow on this and bring it together. I thought it was pretty unique, man. Just kind of the subtlety of it.
Hmm.
Okay, because we're still kind of a novice in this, right? So you don't expect to be top notch, but it's about how you word things, your motive, and your intentions.
Mm-hmm.
That really spoke to me. That I felt like I I pulled away from stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, I could see this. This all makes sense, kind of,
Hmm.
right? All depending on execution, but I can also see your perspective of kind of like, well, did we need it? Was it really kind of necessary? And for some people, what we're given works, and for some people, what we're given doesn't really work. I see both sides, really.
And I appreciate it. And I'm gonna give you a little bit more insight to what I'm saying. The way they bring it across, I'm like, oh, so that's how that got started. Yeah, of course, right. But when you're talking about tying it directly with the Wizard of Oz and making it make sense as to why one person was looking for a heart, one person was looking for a brain, one person was looking for so there's a little bit of inconsistencies for me as far as how a certain character was acting at this time. That's after what happened in the Wizard of Oz, and it's like, okay, you don't necessarily seem like you had an issue here or issue there, whereas in Wizard of Oz,
No, I will.
yeah,
I know exactly what I didn't want to hit to it.
I know you know.
But now that you brought it back,
Yes,
I know what you're talking about.
exactly.
I have the same gripe as you.
Okay,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay, because
I'm just saying from a different perspective. If that was the case, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of flip flamming, but
yeah,
I can see how ill intentions or a good motive could be misinterpreted. You know what I'm saying? I think that was more I think that subtle detail that you're speaking of was more of a underlying message that tied into one of the songs, if I'm not mistaken, too. So I feel like that could have been intentional because you know, no good deed goes unpunished.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
so
No.
from the trailer, y'all heard the song.
Yeah.
It wasn't me; it was the trailer.
Yeah.
So,
No, I listen. I get it. So to keep from spoiling it, you're literally telling what we're talking about. I'll move on from it. But I know you understand what I'm saying because
know.
if you know the Wizard of Oz story, there's certain things that happen in the Wizard of Oz that was never even mentioned. That now they're basically saying happened in Wicked, and technically Wicked came first. You know what I'm saying? So it came first. These are events that happened before the Wizard of Oz, leading into the Wizard of Oz, and then after the Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz.
Which means if they were going to put the Wizard of Oz out first, then in the Wizard of Oz, they should have definitely mentioned that this character had a relationship with that character at one point in time, or this happened at that time. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, that's the only thing. It's the shoehorning thing in it for me. Like, hey, we just want y'all to believe. Now when I go back to Wizard of Oz, now I got to look at it and say, oh, so you was really kicking it with Shawty, but you sure ain't acted like it. You ain't said nothing.
And that's why you was behaving like that.
That's why you was acting like that. Come on, yo. So
or you just grew compassion out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Exactly, bro. That's what I'm saying. If we're talking about story writing and making things cohesive, they are not completely cohesive. However, it is cute. So I see what you're saying. Like when you're looking at it, and if you ain't thinking about all that, bro, because they ain't there to review movies, fine. It is like, oh, that's cool how they tie that in. Great. But then if you really think about it and you peel it back, like we did with Now You See Me, by the way, which our review number wasn't super off from some other numbers I've seen. Regardless of how entertaining it was, still the truth is the truth. So when you start peeling these layers back, then you start seeing some of the inconsistencies, where it's like, okay, that's not as cohesive as it should be if you're trying to make all of those stories make sense. So now, taking off the reviewer hat and just sitting back and watching the movie and having some of the funny lines, which some of the jokes fell flat for me. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Some fell flat. I laughed a little bit more in the first one than this one. Some of these are a little forced. Having said that, if I'm just sitting back and I want to watch a musical and I watch some entertainment and so forth and so on, and maybe some animals talking and all things like that, not the worst. Not the worst I've seen. I just feel like it did not hit where the first one hit, like on all, you know what I'm saying? Just all the points, all the beats that it was supposed to hit on. This one stumbled a bit to me to get to the end of this journey, basically. So,
so we set up. So in your words, we set up good, but we were tripping up trying to get to the finish line.
The execution, right? Some of the things, some of these characters should not be singing. Okay. All right, it's already a musical, but if you're gonna make me sit through a musical, every person that opens their mouth to sing better know how to sing. Don't talk sing me. You understand what I'm saying? Don't talk sing me. And there was some talk singing me. You understand what I'm saying? Just to give a person a part, like, well, since you're in this musical with us, we'll let you sing something.
We'll say so.
Come on, dog. Something. Don't do that. Just let that person talk, because singing ain't their thing. It don't have to be. Let the singers sing. But the talkers, let them talk, man. So, yeah. Or put some auto-tune on them or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll take some auto-tune right now. Don't talk sing me, man. So, anyway, it's about that time, bro, that we go ahead and give them some numbers, let them know how we really feel about this review. I'll jump on it first, man, because I know that you've already hinted that
So you want me to land the plane?
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
You want to let it spiral? Go ahead, let it spiral a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I want you to catch it and then save the people from their disappointments.
I got you, man. It's all yours. The floor is yours, brother.
So, as I said, not a musical man. However, good entertainment is good entertainment. I remember seeing Hamilton on Disney Plus, and I was like, it took me forever. People were begging, like, come on, man, you gotta watch it, man, you would like it. I'm like, I don't see no daggone musical. I liked it. They were absolutely right. I did like it, and I'm like, okay, let me be a little bit more open. So I went into Wicked, like, you know, and I'm saying I had already seen the stage play, and it was great, but watching the movie, like, let me sit through a movie of this, which I'm not gonna lie to, felt longer, felt so much longer than the daggone play. Good grief, man. So I'm in there. I'm checking it. I'm checking this one out, man. I did like spending more time with Galinda, learning a little bit more about her, so she's not just so superficial and so one-dimensional, like just some preppy, bougie girl that, you know what I'm saying, has to be Mr. Popular all the time. No, they humanized her more in this movie, and I was with that. You know, there were moments where Elphaba took a back seat to Galinda, and you know, we got a chance to really dive deeper into who she is as a person. What are her motivations? What are her desires? What makes her act the way that she does, which is obviously extra. You know, the hair toss. You know what I mean? The way she smiles, the way she carries herself, the way she holds her hands up. You know, it's all an act. You know, because you know, when the cameras aren't rolling or when the eyes aren't upon her, she's just a human girl who has feelings, who wants to be loved and cared for just like everybody else. But when everybody's watching her, it's showtime at the Apollo. You know what I'm saying? I gotta perform, you know what I mean, for my fans. So I got a chance to see her more as a human being than even the first one, and I was like, I like that. So I became more of a fan of Galinda. I wanted to champion Galinda. I wanted to see her win in some sense. Now, Elphaba is supposed to be technically the protagonist of this whole thing. And I still want to see Elphaba win, of course, but I found myself cheering a little bit more for Galinda on this, especially from some of the things that were happening. And the reason why she started acting the way she was is because she was hurt. You know, certain things happen. You know, you hurt, you act out on certain things. So I thought that really humanized her and made some things make sense. Elphaba definitely, you know, did her thing as always. You know, Cynthia Erivo, she can sing, she can act. You know, it's all eyes on her when she's, you know, in the scene. She's definitely a scene stiller. You know what I mean? Some of her scene stilling just comes with a smirk, a certain smirk she does. You know what I mean? Which she's very good at. She's very expressive with her face. The supporting characters did fine. You know what I mean? They did fine. However, I just don't know how many more standout characters there were when you're standing next to Ariana and you know, Cynthia Erivo. They are definitely powerful figures on the screen for sure, and I can respect that. And they definitely bring it. But there are definitely some other people who I was like, I'm kind of, you know, let me know when we get to the next scene. You know what I mean? Like I was not really that impressed with it. You know, Wicked Witch, you know, her sister, you know, for one, you know, Boz and even Prince Fiero. You know, there were some moments, man, where he was so like dialed in, man, and that his performance to me just looked a little crazy, especially when he was trying to sing. Some of the expression, the facial expressions the man was making, that looked like that was how you would look at somebody while you was saying that to him. Like, good God. So, yeah, and this might be petty stuff for some people, man, but for me, I'm looking at this, man, like I gotta believe what you're saying. I gotta feel what you're trying to make me believe. You know what I mean? Like you feel like this for this woman, and there were certain moments with him and Elphaba that just, I don't know. They didn't quite hit for me like they did in the first movie. I felt like there was a little bit more attraction or magnetism between the two in the first movie than there were in the second one. And I don't know how long between the two that they shot it, but something seemed a little different from the first, as far as some of the energy. And then again, I reiterate, some people should not be singing. Visually stunning, obviously. But of course, story-wise, when you're trying to tie something into an already well-established story that everybody knows, you have to make it make sense. It has to flow. And there were some moments when I just did not feel like it flowed when it comes to a person who knows the Wizard of Oz story and who is getting introduced into the backstory of how we got to the Wizard of Oz. And it's for that, man, that I'm like, I have to give this movie an 8.
For everything that I feel like as a up and coming critiquer of films who criticizes them, I found my, you know, character development. I found my why. I found my little nuances for things. I feel, the dialogue, the musical ratio is kind of lopsided in this one. If I'm just knocking some things, um, it did feel longer. I agree with that take as well. It felt longer, but it really wasn't. I do feel like in certain aspects, when we're trying to close out the book, we tend to put a little bit more in there to make sure that we keep it up, keep up throughout. Where I feel like they didn't need to do that with this. Um, sorry about that. Um, I feel as though you know everybody, the casting top notch. I think everybody did a great job. You know, this movie to me, I left the theater feeling like I think that's a mutual consensus. I don't think Wicked for Good tops Wicked, right? I think the first one is kind of unanimously not light years ahead of it, but as far as like if you're comparing one to two, I do think one has a better edge over two as far as, the ratio of dialogue and musicals. I think the song choices, I agree with you on that take, were a little bit better in the first one than it was the second one. The way they tied things in and brought them in together and stuff like that, it was interesting to say the least. Hidden. I think it was a hit and miss on those attempts to kind of tie in how they tied it in, but all in all, it was still a good movie. Would I want to go see them both together? I don't think I need to, right? I saw this one and I don't think I need to go revisit it again. But if I wanted to get back into that mindset, or if I wanted to just enjoy it, just to enjoy it, I would. And I think in the theater, I think at one point I did take the backseat approach, but I still kind of paid attention. So for me, I understand your reasoning and I understand why you scored it the way you scored it. For me, like I said, it's still a good movie. For me, story wise, even though I agree with your take of we a little rocky landing the plane and getting to that finish line, I still think people are going to go out and enjoy Wicked for Good. I think the underlying themes of, your motivation, your motive for doing things, um, the good and bad, good versus evil tale of who's who and manipulation and all that, the deep rooted development of, okay, hey, here's two people with ideally identical motives, but vanity and politics and other things divides them, and this is the tale of how, but they always come back, but they'll always come back. you know I think that's interesting as well. How the movie ends, kind of, you know, it's interesting too. So, sound off in the comments once y'all see the movie. I would love to, engage with y'all about this and, start a little community about this. But reeling it back in, I think score wise, I had to give it a resounding 8.9. I had to give it 8.9, man. It's not exactly now we rated the first one a 9.3 after all, right? So I think this falling under if we round an 8.5, like I said, I think it completes the story, but it doesn't live up to the first one as far as setting the table and sustaining it for us to keep going and sustaining it for us to finish. But it's still a good movie overall. uh, 8.45, it's still a good movie. I think people are going to enjoy it, and that's the point and purpose.
Good stuff though. Good stuff. It is an entertaining movie. But of course, we can't end this off, man. There's some things we got to do. We got a little housekeeping to do, man. Can you hit us with that QOTD?
Yeah. You want me to hit these people with a quote?
Yes, sir.
And today's quote reads, "Perhaps the only legacy worth having is to have been known as a kind and compassionate person."
That part. I totally agree with that. You can have all the riches in the world, all the material, superficial stuff you want, but at your core, who are you?
Remember how you treated them.
Exactly, bro. A perfect quote for this.
What's that mantra, big dog?
It's not the quantity of people, it's the quality. Yes, absolutely. And the quality of this movie was a good one. And so we appreciate y'all coming and just hanging out with us for a minute, you know what I mean, and checking us out. Please continue to support us. Please continue to help us with our likes and our views. So do not forget to please like. And subscribe.
Subscribe.
And please turn on your notifications.
Please turn that bell on, or we'll cast a spell on you.
Look at this boy.
Ooh.
That boy good. Listen, man. Y'all know how we do this, man. We got to shout out the best producer in the world, Timmy, the producer, who just had a birthday on yesterday. So happy birthday again to you, Timmy.
Timmy, 20. To many more, Timmy.
You know it. Listen, thank y'all, man. As always, we appreciate y'all, and y'all know we will be back with the next review, so please stay tuned. But until then, peace.
And we out.